Phil Rogers and Connor Summers here from, Loan Market Edge and Loan Market Neo. So a little bit of a mix-up tonight. We thought we'd drop Loz out and bring Connor along, so hopefully it gets the likes up a little bit further. Loz sits in the corner over there being very quiet. So a couple of things we want to chat about this week in our weekly wrap. Firstly, foremost, huge congratulations to our very own 𝘄𝗲𝗽𝗍 for her making a finalist in the Better Business Awards, upcoming Better Business Awards of 2022 for the Best Loan Administrator. So very excited. Congrats. If you get a chance to see her about, be sure to pass that on. Another one for us, big milestone this week, 12 years in the business for myself and the team. Very exciting. So celebrated that earlier this week. Clearly, I must have started the business when I was like 15, yeah? But it's good, and a big thank you to everyone that's supported us over the time. It's been one hell of a ride, and plenty more to come. So thank you guys for that. So what we thought we'd do today, something a little bit different tonight, mix it up, and maybe introduce you guys to Connor, who's another fellow loan market broker here on the Gold Coast. Talk a little bit about himself and maybe the team, and tell you guys a little bit about what we do. So firstly, to introduce Connor. Mate, how long have you been broking for?
5 years as of 2 weeks' time.
So. Anniversaries all around. 5 years. Time flies, trust me. Your team, how many have you got here in the business?
6 of us currently, but there's 2 more coming on board in the next couple of weeks, which is exciting.
Cool.
So just expanding, I guess, the offering and hoping to help more people. So.
Yeah, awesome, like that. And actually, congratulations to Connor as well. You may see it on the socials. He's actually a finalist for the Better Business Awards as well. What were the 2 categories? Because I didn't write that down.
Resi broker, and I think it was regional broker as well.
Okay, cool. Very exciting. Coming up, I think that's April, maybe in about a month's time. That will be a big night. So looking forward to that. We'll no doubt be there for the celebrations. A couple of things I thought we might talk about also is maybe why use a broker.
There's
some hot tips, people. Clearly, why use a broker? I'm not even going to say why use us, but use brokers in general from loan market, because we're all good people. So,
mate, there's plenty of reasons. I guess highlights being interest rate reviews. Something when you're in the bank, we'd all know that the bank, if anything, at the end of the year doesn't call you, doesn't do anything, no engagement. I guess our structured reviews and everything under bid, we've got to contact you every year, make sure that we're doing pricing, getting a rate as low as possible, and ensuring that your ongoing position is
cool. I think that's a massive one, like the ongoing service that we provide as brokers, and especially when we have teams, I guess, and you have a business, I guess, and there's a whole team there it is part of that ongoing service. A broker it's not transactional, and when you do come back a year later, the good news is the same, you're stuck with us for life, really. I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but the same broker, the same team, the same business owner, we're still there. Unfortunately, and no disrespect to the branches and the banks that we work with, but that relationship piece is really important. And again, down that track, it is about making sure that the loan product, the loan type, the features, all those things are still relevant. It's not just interest rate. Like, interest rate's important. Can we get you a better rate? Absolutely. But is it still doing what we needed it to do, I guess, when you first took the loan out? So, okay, cool. That's a really good one to swing to. Maybe tell us about the clients that you work with as well.
Yeah, so
for those wanting to know at home,
we've got a pretty specialist makeup. We work pretty heavily in medical, so nurses, doctors, and also teachers as well. Something we're seeing a lot of recently. It's obviously that government income, government employment. It's really stable at the moment. It's something that the banks are really looking for. And I guess in those industries, those people are seeing lots of opportunities to get into the market, whilst it's still moving. So there's a lot of inquiry. Like, there's a few complex things for those customers as well. RemServe, super contributions, things that are mandated by your employer, being employed by the Queensland government. So there's benefits, again, using a broker, making sure that your position is getting presented as clearly as possible and maximising your borrowing capacity, where different lenders have way different ways of assessing that. So just identifying where I guess, which banks are going to give you the best outcome. So.
Yeah, cool. And I guess a lot of that, the advantage we have is that's done up front. Yeah, that's part of the research phase. That's before there is no hit on your credit file. Yeah, we haven't gone to a bank, you haven't gone through that process. That's part of our research when it comes to understanding goals and objectives and understanding the type of client, the type of income, putting all that together to be able to do that research and then come back to a client with recommendations. I guess the difference in our process, the last thing we do is the bank. Yeah, at the end of the day, the bank is just the vehicle in our process. Yeah, and that's one of the very last things we'll ever get to when it comes to recommendations. Because, as you said, BID, for those at home, best interest duty. We will always work in your best interest. But that's a big part of that journey for a client when working with us. Yeah, to make sure that all of those steps are taken care of. Predictions for 2022. What are you seeing? I guess maybe a little bit, whether that's the market from a real estate point of view, whether it's from an interest rate point of view. This is all time and date stamped, so we will come back to this too, just FYI.
I think there's lots of exciting things coming forward. Obviously, rental properties are becoming few and far between, or rental, the expected kind of cost for renting a property now is going up. Things like the floods and COVID are making it.
Good luck buying a car right now.
All of those things, I guess, being impacted with the economy right now, with this shortage of property. It's just ensuring that from this point forward, like, properties are going to continue to kind of grow in value, or at least the price you've got to pay for it up front. And there's no end in sight as it stands right now with that long-term position. And like we're seeing right now rental properties where there's 50, 60 people showing up to
there's now, it feels like there's a little bit of a shift in the market from the purchase to the from a purchase and sale point of view to the rental point of view. And there's more people lined up on a weekend at a rental than there is the sale of a property.
Right? It makes it more advantageous to look at property. If you've got to rent one house for $700, but the house right next door you can purchase it and your mortgage payment's $550. All of a sudden it's an opportunity to go, wow, as long as we've got some form of deposit, or we can utilise the first home guarantee.
Some of the grants still around. Yep,
absolutely, and you can get into the property with that 5% deposit. No costs in LMI, massive savings, avoid stamp duty under $500,000. Like, it's a great opportunity.
Cheaper to buy than it is to rent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice. And interest rate rises for the year ahead. So I am no economist, but what's your plug? What's your thought? How many, if any?
I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, the US moved. I think it was in the last couple of weeks for the first time. So that obviously that's a predictor for what happens in Australia, but the time started. But all those longer term rates are more expensive now. That kind of 3, 4, 5 year rates are now in the mid threes for an owner occupied property, and that's just a forecast for where the market's going to be over the next few years. So.
There you go. You heard it first. Connor Summers, Loan Market Neo, with his predictions. No, mate. Look. Really do appreciate it. It was just a chance to say good day and say quickly, introduce yourself to the fans out there. No doubt you have plenty of those yourself on the socials. If you do, jump on and have a look at Loan Market Neo. Probably go via Loan Market Edge, just in case you haven't gone to our page first, but then definitely jump on
number 2
to Loan Market Neo and say hello. Look, it is one big family when it comes to loan market, so it's nice to introduce another local who's nearby. Any questions, as always, we're here to help, and we will see you next week. Bye for now. Bye.